With F9 now out in theaters, there are 10 Fast and Furious movies, so let's rank them from worst to best. Welcome to my channel. My name is Justin. Here we focus on your favorite content from streaming services and in theaters. If you guys love to watch movies and shows like I do, you guys are in the right spot. F9, The Fast Saga, is finally in theaters after being pushed back several times due to the pandemic, but I saw it twice in theaters now. I got a clear list in mind when it comes to the Fast and Furious films. Let me know in the comment section down below, what is your favorite Fast and Furious film and what is your least favorite one? Coming in at number 10 is F9, The Fast Saga. This was a clear choice for me as the worst Fast and Furious film. Yes, it is the biggest Fast and Furious film and the most ambitious one, but also the most frustrating one. The writing is all over the place. Certain story arcs for characters just don't make any sense. Bringing back characters for really no reason, just to have them there. It's very ridiculous. They go to space. They try to flip a big truck with small cars. It's just way over the top. And you know, at times I found it to be a little entertaining, but I also found it to be highly frustrating. The writing is really poor in here, and I do gotta say, I really miss The Rock. I think he would have added a lot to this movie, so hopefully we do get to see him in the next film. But I do like John Cena as Jacob. I thought there was some nice stories with him in there, and I do like the flashback scenes between Jacob and Dom when they are younger. I think that added a lot to the overall story of Fast and Furious. Coming at number 9 is Tokyo Drift. While I do appreciate this film a little more after each viewing, it's still not the best one for me. I think when it comes down to it, it's mostly its characters. I really don't care about Lucas Black's character and Bow Wow's character. They're two of the most obnoxious characters in the Fast and Furious franchise. Han, though, I really like. I really like Han as a character. When we saw him in Tokyo Drift, and then we saw him in the beginning of Fast and Furious, and we had him in Fast 5, we had him in Fast and Furious 6. There is just so much I like about the character, and we get to see him a lot in Tokyo Drift. This is one of the movies that really focuses a lot on driving and car races, and I think those are all filmed pretty well. But the characters from the previous Fast and Furious movies, 2 and 1, are really entertaining and really likable characters. There's just not really any characters I care about in this movie besides Han. Coming in at number 8 is Fast and Furious. The fourth film is easily the most boring film. Despite bringing back the 4 main characters from the very first Fast and Furious film, you would think having Vin Diesel and Paul Walker return together in a film, it would be really entertaining. And there are some pretty cool moments in here, especially in the beginning when they're stealing the gas off of the truck, and some pretty fun car race sequences. We do get Gal Gadot's character Giselle introduced in the movie. There's a lot of things that work and potential for a fun movie, but compared to other films, it's the least entertaining one. And there's a lot of scenes that just really drag, especially about middle half of the film when we're trying to reconnect the characters together and Mia's trying to reconnect with Brian. There's scenes that feel very sluggish in the middle half, but nonetheless a pretty fun film. Coming at number 7 is The Fast and Furious 6. This is where the franchise really started to take that government route and working for the government. We saw them do a task for The Rock in this film. And this is also one of the films where it started to be really, really big. And there's a lot of scenes where like you just question like, how did that even happen? Certain scenes in here just don't really make any sense. It's a pretty fun film. They tried to recapture the charm from Fast 5 with having a really big group together. We didn't get Santos and Leo in the film this time around, but we did get The Rock. They're up against Owen Shaw. Pretty fun villain in here. Really intimidating guy, and a lot of potential to create a lot of havoc in the film. Yes, the action's a lot of fun, and yes, the character interactions are really entertaining, but when I think of the next films, I think they're just a little more entertaining than Fast and Furious 6. Coming at number 6 is Fast and Furious Presents Hobbs and Shaw. This film took 2 characters that I really did like. We saw Hobbs in Fast 5, so he was in Fast 5. He was in Fast and Furious 6 and a little bit in Furious 7 and The Fate of the Furious. We see a lot of him. The Rock really created this character. And the first time I saw him, I really did not care for him in Fast 5, but he really grew on me. To the point I think him as a really important part in the Fast and Furious franchise. So much that I wish he was in F9. And Deckard Shaw, I thought was really good. Owen Shaw and Deckard Shaw are two completely different villains. Owen Shaw was very strategic, and Deckard Shaw was very straight to the point. Let's get to the action. Let's beat each other up. Let's, solve our problems by fighting. And have him team up with Luke Hobbs led to some really entertaining moments. Some witty one-liners, some funny jokes between the two, as they're really trying to outdo each other with the jokes and the big action scenes. And then we have Vanessa Kirby as Deckard Shaw's little sister. Really great addition to the story. And then we also have Idris Elba in the film. Really good villain. There's just a lot of things that do work in here. And the action's way over the top. Really entertaining. It's laughable at times. It doesn't really make sense, but you still have a lot of fun with it. The main thing that did work for this movie, and I thought the villain plot was just okay, but the best thing that worked is the interaction between Luke Hobbs and Deckard Shaw. Coming in at number 5 is Furious 7. Furious 7 by far has the best ending of any movie in the Fast and Furious franchise. One of the best endings in general. It's just so emotional. What had happened to Paul Walker is just devastating. It's still hard to think about. They did the best they could with the absence of Paul Walker. I thought the ending was very touching, and it worked for moving Brian's story further and giving him a reason to stay at home. Besides all of that, the CGI for Brian did look pretty good. A little noticeable at times, but what can you do? I think having Deckard Shaw here and the revenge story for both parties, I think worked really well. Deckard Shaw was getting revenge for his brother, and then Dom was getting revenge for Han. So it's kind of like this revenge story. And Jason Statham is just such a good actor. I just love him in general. And so having him in the Fast and Furious franchise was something I was really looking forward to. And he definitely provided a lot. Like I said, he's a very straight to the point kind of villain. Doesn't need big old plans. He brings the guns and the fists, and that's about it. The locations are all over the place. They utilize locations to their advantage to provide these really big action scenes. And then we also have Kurt Russell as Mr. Nobody. Pretty cool character. And then we also have Ramsey. I like Ramsey a lot. She's in The Fate of the Furious also, and F9. She also as quickly became part of the family in the film. So Furious 7, emotional film. They really did a good job setting up the departure of Brian throughout the film. They were consistently having conversations about family, and Mia was having a second child, and he needed to be there for Mia and his family. So it didn't abruptly come at the end. Oh, Brian's gonna leave because he has a family. They did a nice job setting that up, which made the end of the film even more emotional. Coming in at number 4 is The Fate of the Furious. By switching this film up and making Dom as the villain because he had to protect his son, because Cypher, played by Charlize Theron, had kidnapped him. So she instructed Dom to do everything that he was doing. Really switched up the film. Everything kind of felt normal from the previous 7 films and the kind of same structure. But they really switched it up with this film, and everybody was curious, why is Dom turning on everybody? And everybody's wondering about that too. But bringing a lot of these characters, and having Luke Hobbs in here a lot, and him against Dom, really switched up the story and led to some really intense moments. Charlize Theron is a great villain, probably one of the best villains in the franchise. I love the end sequence with Deckard Shaw and Owen Shaw on the plane trying to save Dom's baby. But also makes you think about, like, literally in the previous film they were trying to kill each other. Now they're there to protect each other. But it just goes to show, like, the loyalty and how people are willing to forgive each other and welcome into their lives. Coming at number 3 is Too Fast, Too Furious. A lot of people will put this at the bottom of the list. I can totally see why. But I watched this film so much growing up. I remember getting it for my birthday. I got car models of the movie, and I had the soundtrack. Something I absolutely love. It's probably the most entertaining one for me. The soundtrack is really good. It focuses a lot on racing, and it's just pretty simple plot. And I like Roman in here. I think he works alongside Brian pretty good. And we have Ludacris. There's just a lot of fun, innocent moments in this movie. It's one of the more subtle ones compared to Fast 5 and The Fate of the Furious. It's one that I really do enjoy watching. It's one that I could just put on, go do some chores, just have Too Fast, Too Furious on in the background. And we didn't have Dom in this movie, but I do think that Roman was a good addition. And even though it didn't have him in the film, I still think that the chemistry between them two, Roman and Brian, really moved the story forward and just was a pretty fun film. Coming in second place is The Fast and the Furious. This is the one that started it all. I saw this in a drive-in and I instantly was hooked with this franchise. I mentioned in my review for F9, anytime there's a new Fast and Furious, no matter how good or bad it is, I will be there to support the film. And that started with The Fast and the Furious. Pretty simple film compared to everything else we've seen. But there's a lot of racing in here, and we see that initial setup between all of the characters that we've seen now, with Mia and Letty and Brian and Dom and all the other minor characters within the film, which was pretty cool to see a flashback scene of them in F9. I think the build up for the chemistry and the relationship between Brian and Dom started off very slow. They wanted to race against each other. Then he owed him a 10-second car, and he had to earn his trust. And that was part of his job. But you could honestly see that there was this friendship growing within them. And at the end, when they were racing and the cops were coming and he gave him away his keys, that solidified the fact that they are friends. But The Fast and the Furious, great soundtrack, a lot of great racing scenes. They just don't focus on racing anymore. It's disappointing. I just want a Fast and the Furious movie that's just about racing. Build some cars, practice racing, kind of take the little bit of Tokyo Drift where it's a lot about racing. Just have a focus on that. This is what I miss. But The Fast and the Furious, great start to the franchise. But coming in at number 1 is Fast 5. This is by far the most entertaining one. It is by far the one that gives me the biggest smile. The song at the end, when they're opening up the safe and all the money comes out, I just have the best feeling when watching this film. And I love bringing everybody together, watching Dom meet Roman and Tej, and having Giselle come back, and Hans coming back, and everybody's just all there, and they're working at understanding each other. And this isn't a film where they're trying to work for the government. This is a film that's for their own personal gain. This isn't a film where they're working for the government. It's for their own personal gain. They want to steal a bunch of money from a safe, and that's it. They have to develop plans. They have to race. They have to kind of figure out how to crack into the safe and steal it. It's not a movie where they're going to space or they're spies or they know how to fight very well. They're trying their best to get into the safe and steal some money, and watching their plans along the way, and kind of the Ocean's 11 kind of style to it. Makes it for some really memorable moments. So there you guys have it. The 10 Fast and Furious movies ranked worst to best. What is your favorite? What is your least favorite? Let me know in the comment section down below, and stay tuned for more up and coming content. My name is Just Watches Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.